What's up, guys? Happy Monday. We're back. Dr. Jaws is here, and today we're going to be talking about the zebra shark. And honestly, the vibes are pretty immaculate right now. It's almost American Thanksgiving. That's happening this Thursday. And yeah, I'm just in kind of like a comfy mood. It's a good study. It's going to be a good study party tonight, just because it's like we've got a lot of footage to review with the zebra shark, but also a lot of really cool research as far as the name revision. Like I had no idea that they actually revised the name from Stegostoma fasciatum to Stegostoma tigrinum. Hey Howard, what's up? Good evening to you too. Welcome back. Roy, what's up, man? Good to see both of you back. It's awesome. Like I was just saying, like this is going to be a really cool study night. Like this shark is just kind of like, I think there's so much information on this species, and there's like so much cool information. I found a couple papers on like dark diversity, which I've never heard of. It's a brand new concept. I don't know how potentially quack it is, but I definitely want to take a look at that. So dark biodiversity, as far as biodiversity pertaining to species that may be extinct but that should have been in an ecosystem. So we'll take a look at that tonight. Different color morphs of the zebra shark. Yeah, there's just like a lot to review. So hope you guys have like a cool, like I just made another cup of black tea, but hope you guys have some like good drink and good food. Again, it's American Thanksgiving. I actually literally just made Kentucky Derby pie that I'll be bringing to my family and my girlfriend's family this weekend. So it's like a pecan pie of chocolate chips. So I'm pretty psyched for that. But yeah, I guess before we get started, Howard, thank you so much for this awesome piece of art with the zebra shark. And what's really cool is that this might be one of quite a few different color morphs and color forms throughout the species' lifetime. So I didn't realize that there was actually multiple morphs, but there's like a sandy morph, and this actually might be closer to the sandy morph. But it also does look like the classic zebra shark with like the beige background and like the dark spots. This is definitely an adult zebra shark. I love that you captured like the ridges right here, and then just that beautiful billowing tail, which we got to see like a little bit of footage of. So thank you so much for saying this. This is really, really cool. And this species, like, I love your comment, Roy. The friend-shaped sharks. Yes, like this species is like, it's very distinctive looking and distinctively, like it's like a plushy shark. It's just very like round and squat and like very friendly, harmless species. Very popular in aquariums and very colorful. And what's really cool is that it gets its name zebra shark from its juvenile stage, where it's this beautiful dark black and white banding pattern, and then that completely changes to these very fine spots as an adult. And that's caused a lot of confusion as far as the names go, where sometimes in some parts of the world I think it's still called a leopard shark. In America it's called a zebra shark. I think the official English name is zebra shark. So there's a lot of confusion about the species, and then the whole scientific name is another kind of wrench in that. Speaking of which, Howard, thank you so much for actually getting Stegostoma tigrinum. That is really cool because for the longest time it used to be Stegostoma fasciatum, and I wouldn't blame it like as far as like, if it was still fasciatum in the art, but this is like up to date and super accurate and just awesome. So thank you so much for saying this. This is really fantastic. Let's see, graceful shark. Yes, that's also a really beautiful name for the species. Because like I mean, even just this like opening clip, taking a look like, and I love that like we're listening to Dream Alliance and just like kind of this nice medieval. I saw The Hobbit recently just for fun, and I'm kind of in a medieval vibe, but just like hearing the harp play while this shark moves is it's really hitting. It's an uncommonly beautiful species. Again, that billowing tail. It's basically just the upper caudal lobe. There really isn't a distinctive lower caudal lobe, so it's just like this beautiful like almost like sword-like tail. And just it's an amazing animal, like as far as it just being like gracefully like exploring the seabed. with that beautiful, beautiful color palette. What's kind of cool that you can see in this particular individual, you can actually kind of see an arrangement of spots that are actually in a bar. So you can kind of see a little bit, and there's actually multiple bars across the body, so you can kind of see a little bit of how this transitions from an actual zebra pattern to the spots, where there's a bar right there. Yeah, you can actually see multiple, like, it's very faint, but there's like actual like lighter color bars against a darker beige, all of the same color shade of spots. So I love, again, the distinctive ridges on this species. What's kind of cool is that it's reminiscent of a whale shark, which is a cousin. These are both in the Orlectolobiformes order, so these are both in that large grouping of carpet sharks. And they're both really charismatic tropical species. So zebra sharks are very popular in aquaria. Have you guys seen this in an aquarium at all, or? Oh, cool. Howard, the face is free of spots, at least the ones I've seen. That's a good observation. Oops, where is this? Sorry about that, I lost sight of our shark. But yeah, which is kind of interesting. And I'm curious, like, what the... I read somewhere that as far as, like, the color palette goes, like, it's one of the first examples of, like, mimicry as far as, like, an environmental adaptation to kind of blend in with the surroundings. So I don't know if it's... I'm not exactly sure what that means. So as far as, like, I don't know what the shark would be blending into. I imagine it's really kind of like playing off of, like, ripples of light, maybe, or maybe it's just kind of confusing the follow for other fish because it's so broken up between the beige background and, like, the dark speckles. But we'll find out more tonight. But beautiful, beautiful species. It's cool to see, like, the dorsal fins are pretty close together and very compact, along with the pelvic fins. They're kind of in this, like, block along the body. It has huge pectoral fins and a big, boofy, chonky head. I'm curious if this may kind of, like, feed, like, nurse sharks a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as far as, like, is this, like, a suction feeder, like a nurse shark? Because it definitely is a buccal pumper, so it definitely is a shark that can sit on the seabed and actively pump water over its gills, but we'll find out more later. So, and Sharks of the World, I know that has a couple pieces of information. I haven't been really reading Sharks of the World lately as much, but because most of the species we've been doing have been rare species, so this one fortunately has a bit more information on it. Oh, this is cool. Females of this species exhibit parthenogenesis, which is kind of wild. We talked about it with bonnethead sharks, so I'm assuming since this is such a popular species in aquaria, this is probably something observed in an aquarium setting, but essentially, it's a fancy way of saying virgin birth, or birth without a fertilized egg. So this species, essentially, like there was an individual female that actually, like, had pups, but without, like, a male sperm or male influence. So, which is kind of wild. I had no idea that multiple species, like. Well, actually, no. I think someone commented last week that zebra sharks are capable of that. Let me know if I got that wrong. Someone told me last week that they were actually capable of that, and I think that was here, like, in the comments. But it's really cool because it's like that's the second shark in all of sharkdom of, like, where it's like that has been documented. So, oh hey, Roy, there were two at my home aquarium. They are here at Ripley's. Awesome. Howard, there was one report I read of an albino one. That is so cool. Yeah, I'm very excited to go into, there's a color study I have up for tonight, and then the dark diversity study sounds really interesting. The color study, I think, also has more information on, like, why the name changed, because this was Stegostoma fasciatum for the longest time, so no idea why that... Oh, Sharks of the World does have something in here. The scientific name Stegostoma fasciatum has been in common use for decades, but a recent review of nomenclature shows that the correct earlier name should be Stegostoma tigrinum. So I guess tigrinum was the first name, and then they changed it, and then they realized, well, we should not have messed with it, so they changed it back. But I would love to learn more information about that. So let's see. Zebra sharks are not aggressive and can be maintained well in captivity. Some aspects of the morphology, including the ridges, are remarkably similar to the whale shark. It's interesting that they wrote it like that, where I wonder if they're implying there might be more of a kinship, a closer kinship between those two as opposed to other elected lobiforms. Oh, this is interesting. The undulating swimming motion of slender newborn zebra sharks, combined with their striking banded coloration and long single-lobed caudal fin, makes them appear remarkably similar at first glance to banded sea snakes. This has been hypothesized that it's an adaptation that improves the survival of the most vulnerable life stage of the zebra shark, and the first known example of protective mimicry in an elasmobranch. So that is awesome, and let's get a picture of a juvenile to kind of show what they're talking about. This is probably this is a great example. Okay, so this is from Fishbase. So this is a juvenile zebra shark, and yeah, that actually, I can see it. So the theory is that the reason why it's evolved this dramatic color palette is so it can mimic a sea snake, a sea crate, like a venomous sea snake, because they do live in the same part of the world. And so that way, other animals that know not to go near sea crates also avoid baby zebra sharks. So the mix of the colors and also the unusually long body with the unusually long caudal fin is like mimicry. So it's trying to mimic a sea snake, kind of like I think there's some moths that like to mimic hornets, or it's gotta be a much better example of that. Like, can you guys name examples of mimicry? I know there's like some famous ones from like biology class growing up, and I can't remember them at the moment. Oh, here we go. There's I don't know if you've heard of coral snakes. Coral snakes are very dangerous, but there's also a kind of snake called a milk snake that it almost looks exactly the same, but the red, black, and yellow bands on the body are arranged in a different way. So sorry, that was the one I was trying to think of, but let's see. Oh, Howard, Wikipedia goes through the nomenclature and clades. Oh, the robberfly mimics the honeybee. Awesome, that good example, very good example. I'm gonna start that actually because that's an excellent example. So super cool. I don't know if I have any clips of juvenile zebra sharks, but I do want to look at some of the other photos. And especially if we can kind of see sort of the transition to adulthood, where, so we got this beautiful, stark black and yellow pattern. And again, here's another really, really baby one. This is more of a little black and white pattern, but I would say almost exactly the same life stage, though. That's definitely probably a newborn, like a hatching zebra shark, maybe young of the year. This is interesting, where this is definitely a smaller individual, but you can kind of see the stronger ridges on the body. You could definitely still see the striping, but the emergence of the spots and then the banding starting to become more beige. So those areas, like you can definitely see that change in pigmentation, where like this is a good intermediary stage between the full adult zebra shark, which is almost all beige and just spotted, and then the juvenile, which is just has like those really stark bands. So it reminds me of the tiger shark, which is kind of interesting because tiger sharks, the babies are, striped as well, and then they, become more. Or no, the babies. Oh, that's really gonna bother me. Let's look up tiger shark really quick. I forget if the babies are striped. Yeah, the babies are striped, and then they get spots, and then the adults, yeah. Sorry, that's really gonna throw me off. I really should know this. Hold on. That's really gonna throw me off. But I do want to look this up because I do think it's kind of interesting to compare the two. Please show me a baby tiger shark. There we go. Okay, I got that wrong. So it's like the inverse. Like the baby tiger sharks actually have spots, and then they turn into bars when they get older. Got you. Sorry. That was... well... that's a pretty big tiger shark. I mean, it's kind of bars. Sorry, we'll go back to the zebra shark. Yeah, okay, so juvenile tiger sharks definitely have like a stronger spotted pattern, and then they become faded bars as an adult, and then zebra sharks are the opposite. They have like the strong bar pattern, and then they become spotted as an adult. Sorry, that was really kind of throwing me off. But anyway, kind of looking back at some more footage, this is a really beautiful clip. YouTuber Tom Park, if you want to subscribe to that, because this is really gorgeous footage of multiple zebra sharks. It would be kind of cool to compare multiple individuals to see what their patterning looks like, and to see if there's any differences that we can see. Also, it's wonderful that these are a very peaceful shark species, so what a thrill to actually be diving with these. Like, just in crystal clear water, that's like a dream come true, just to be surrounded by zebra sharks. Like, just safe, happy, giant animals. Man, these are so cool. They're pretty big, too, as an adult. That's actually easily maybe 5 or 6 feet. If you count, you know, from tip of the snout to tip of the tail. Man, gorgeous animal. Oh, and there's a nice example of a zebra shark sitting on the seabed doing the buccal pumping. So just pumping the water. The teeth are interesting. Just from a distance, it looks like kind of like a flat plate almost. So you would suspect that probably eats shellfish. It's a gorgeous ray on the bottom, by the way. Not sure what kind of ray that is, just because we're in the Pacific and it's not really my backyard, but beautiful ray nonetheless. Oh, Howard, awesome. Up to 8, possibly 10 feet. Wow. Very, very cool. Let's see. It's cool. Roy, it's cool how most bamboo sharks could do this too, whereas young... Oh, we're gonna skip out. Sorry, I think I almost got an ad. Sorry about that, Roy. It's cool almost bamboo sharks can do this too, whereas young they would have these very defined black and white stripes. I'm very curious if that's probably evolved for similar reasons, as far as like maybe mimicry is something that is not exclusive to the zebra shark, especially since bamboo sharks, they do live in a similar environment too. So, oh, nice, Roy. I think it's a marble ray. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one before. It looks a lot like kind of like a dustiatid, like a southern stingrays. It's a completely different species, but that's super cool. I had no idea. I've never heard of marble rays before, so awesome. This particular individual is a really pretty, almost like a rosette kind of thing. It almost looks like, I forget if it's leopards or jaguars that kind of have that kind of pattern, where it's kind of like the dark spots surrounding like a sort of a lighter central area. And actually, I mean, just because the colors are so interesting on this group, I might, for the beginning, kind of bypass some of the stuff that we usually do, like IUCN Red List or Florida Museum, and I might just go straight to like the color study, because I think that's going to be really cool to see, as far as like comparing individuals and seeing that like I've never heard of really a color morph in sharks before, because that's something you think of like in, you know, like mammals. So this is gonna be really cool to see like the different color morphs of a zebra. Oh, that's a good shot of a zebra shark. Yeah, this is a. Oh yeah, sorry. Subscribe. ROG Freedive. Yes, we must subscribe. This is an uncommonly beautiful species. We'll go back to this really quick because Shed Aquarium has zebra shark courtship, so definitely want to see that. But I just want to take one more look. This is just really nice, sharp footage. Oops. I mean, it's between like the body itself, where it's just this beautiful, long, billowing tail, and just like the slow, graceful, unhurried, elegant movements. Like this is like this is definitely one of the most graceful sharks we've ever seen. And just like you could, I mean, if you know, just kind of like sitting on the seabed watching these in the wild. I mean, you can spend, as long as you have enough air, like hours and hours just watching this. This is such a beautiful species. Oh man, it is so cool. It's really cool to see the eyes are very tiny too. So you suspect that it gets plenty of sunlight. It definitely probably spends most of its time near the surface. So, so you don't need these big eyes that retain a lot of light. This is definitely a tropical coral reef dwelling species. So, do want to see Shed Aquarium, like multiple aquariums, does have zebra sharks, and it'll be kind of cool to see shark courting behavior. So I'm assuming the one on the left is a male. It looks like he went, I know this is grainy footage, but it looks like he went for the pectoral fin of the female. Sharks, like male sharks, tend to do that, where they bite down to grab hold of their mate. This behavior right here is tailing. So a male shark, I don't know if it's necessarily male versus female, but a shark directly behind, one individual shark directly behind another individual shark. That's typically, or it could be, tends to be a mating behavior. This is interesting. I've never heard of a shark biting another shark's tail as potentially a courtship behavior, so that's actually pretty cool to see. Yeah, never heard of that. So, and I wonder if that's something unique to zebra sharks, because they have the uniquely long billowing tails and are a slow-moving species. I can't imagine other sharks, like, you know, sharks that typically are involved in like mating studies, like reef sharks, like I can't imagine them doing that. But yeah. But one really cool thing, I do have a couple aquarium papers here too. Like aquariums, even though you can make a lot of debates, and like valid debates, depending on what kind of aquarium it is in terms of animal care and the proper husbandry, and are animals really getting, you know, the nutrition they need or the freedom that they need. Some aquariums do a very good job as far as captive breeding programs as something that might be helpful from a conservation standpoint. So we do have a couple studies tonight to kind of look at. But I think we should probably start with the color study, and then we could take a look at the aquarium study, and then dive into some more things. So, but yeah. Roy, sharks with a sense of fashion, awesome. Very cool. Oh no, so this is the dark diversity thing. I do want to get to that a little bit. We'll definitely do that, because I'm really intrigued what in the world this means. I've never heard of that concept before. So, but here we go. The sandy zebra shark, a new color morph of the zebra shark Stegostoma tigrinum, with a redescription of the species and a revision of its nomenclature. So this is Ricky Beckman-Dow, Eva Egling Sigsgaard. Apologize if I'm not saying any of these right. Gori Mwangi, Philip Francis Thompson, Renee Dalsgaard Jorgensen, Philippe de Oliveira Torquato, Lars Olsen, Peter Rask-Muller. So I apologize if I did not say those correctly, but here we go. Let me take a swig of tea for a second. The zebra shark in recent years, known as Stegostoma fasciatum, that is how I grew up with it, is well known for its dramatic ontogenic change of color pattern from striped zebra juveniles to spotted leopard adults. Nevertheless, many aspects of the species' biology, ecology, and morphology are still unknown or inadequately described, and its nomenclature is contentious. Now that kind of blows my mind, honestly, because this is, as far as I know, it's a single genus, and I think it's a single family. I'm not saying this right, but like it's a family of one species, right? Stegostoma today, yeah. So it's a family of one species. So contention sounds interesting to me. But this study introduces a hitherto undescribed color morph of the zebra shark and provides an updated diagnosis and redescription of the species. Firstly, we established that the zebra shark remains a single species based on genetic data from mitochondrial COI and ND4 markers. These are genetic markers. I don't know specifically what these mean, but DNA. Secondly, through morphological analyses, we conclude that there are two morphs of the species, the known zebra stripe morph and a new sandy color morph. Both morphs were studied morphometrically to expose any ontogenic changes, such as a decrease in the relative length of the tail with increasing total length. Interesting. Okay. The external coloration pattern clearly differentiates the two morphs, and both morphs can be further divided into three stages based on color pattern size: juveniles, transitionals, and adults. Okay, that's really cool. The transitional sandy morph is dorsally covered by a swirly pattern of thin, dark brown bands edged with freckle-like brown spots. The adults are uniform sandy beige, partially covered with brown freckles. A mature male of the zebra morph displayed a yet unknown feature of the claspers, a small triangular spike extruding from the dorsal terminal of the clasper glands. Interesting. Finally, we reviewed the nomenclature of the species and suggest that the original name, Stegostoma tigrinum, should be used as a senior synonym for this species. So, I'm curious, is this the study that renamed it? I'm kind of curious by that. But, yeah. Also, fun fact, this is the first and maybe only paper we'll see where the word swirly makes a debut. So, swirly. I've never seen swirly used in science. So, not as a dig. I don't mean that as a dig. I find that charming, personally. So, but let's go take a look at specifically what they're talking about. Looking ahead, here we go. So A is transitional. Oh no, sorry. Juvenile is A, transitional is B to F, adult is G. So here we go. There we go. Nice. This is a nice view of the different stages of zebra shark. So the juvenile species is figure A. The juvenile individual is figure A. So that beautiful sea snake color pattern. B through F are the transitional stages. So let's see. B's got some spotting, but you can kind of see if you compare A and B, you can still see like, okay, there's spots emerging on like these dark bands. There's still kind of like a blank area on the light colored bands, but spots are emerging on the body. In C, you can see that the dark color bands are becoming more and more beige and lightening up. The light beige cream color areas are still very blank. D, same thing. I don't see a major difference here. E, kind of similar. These are really beautiful sharks. F, same thing. And I think the final adult stage is G, where there's no banding whatsoever, it's just the spots. Very cool. So it's kind of amazing that this is all one species, and this is a beautiful chart. It's a little confusing size-wise because figure A is definitely much smaller than figure G, and definitely much smaller than figures B through F, but at least you can kind of clearly see how the color pattern changes. Again, it's really cool to see the transition from the dark zebra sea snake kind of color pattern up to the plain cream spotted leopard pattern. So the sandy morph transitional A through D, and adult E through H. Close-up of the skin pattern on the right lateral flank of the specimen. Here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that looks completely different. That's actually really cool. So I didn't know that there was a different morph of zebra shark, and this clearly looks extremely different. These are just like these very fine, very thin, you know, it almost kind of looks like brain coral, actually. Just kind of like these channels. You know, these are not spots at all. They're really more like back here, this is kind of, yeah, it's kind of more like a weird, I don't want to say like a, I don't know if matrix is the right word, but it's like, the best way I could describe this is this looks a lot like brain coral to me. Just kind of like these alternating like dark and light, like intertwined like weird bands or folds. And look at this. This, as the shark gets older, it's like, oh my gosh, there's no pattern whatsoever almost. So this is like basically a pure cream color morph of the zebra shark. That's crazy. So A is the juvenile stage, and then H is the adult stage. The juvenile stage clearly does not have like the strong pattern that the zebra morph does, so that's really cool. It's morphin time. Sorry. This is a really cool chart. Specimens of the zebra shark from Kenya in the transitional stage, shown from smallest to largest body size. Wow. What do you guys think? Is this maybe the most beautiful species we've seen? Because it's, I mean, this is like, this is stunning. I mean, just these are really gorgeous sharks. What I'm really enjoying, by the way, is like these are all different individuals, but look at how different the patterns are. Where it's like number 4 in particular, he's got this kind of like it's almost an hourglass shape near his head, but number 3 doesn't have anything like that. So it's kind of cool to be like, you know how you can identify humpback whales by their flukes? It's kind of cool to see like, wow, like there's actually quite a bit of variation in the color, like how the bands are arranged for the zebra shark. Like number 3 and number 5, they look kind of similar at first, but look how number 3, he's got these like bigger kind of like, almost like tennis racket, like paddles near the beginning of his pectoral fins, like these cream color paddles. And number 5, he has more like bars. So they're very different looking. So you can actually identify them. Like there's these little minor differences where you can actually kind of tell them apart, which is really cool. These are beautiful sharks. Like, look at this guy, number 9. He's got 2 beige spots right here. Number 7 only has 1. It's kind of cool finding the differences. You know, it's also, this is actually a really good exercise as far as like training your eye to see patterns. Wow, these are beautiful, beautiful sharks. I even love, if you look at number 13, this is definitely a juvenile, but you can still see kind of how strong those ridges are along the back. So, very cool species. Oh man, number 20's got a really unique pattern right here. Like, this is completely broken. It's kind of fun, like, there are some shark studies where people, like divers in long-time areas, or like I'm thinking of bull sharks where it's Becca Lagoon in Fiji, I think. Like, there's a really great long-term population study of the bull sharks of that area, and divers are so familiar with them and their differences that they name each individual, and they kind of get a cool read on like how each individual is doing and like what makes them different personality-wise. Point being is like it would be kind of cool to do a study on zebra sharks, like a population study, and you can actually name each individual and keep track of each individual. So, very cool. I do want to see this. I won't zoom in, but claspers. So the male organs for zebra shark or for any shark. Claspers of a mature male zebra shark with close-up of the short triangular spike exuding from the dorsal terminal of the clasper gland, and an unfertilized egg from the female. So, sorry, I promised I wouldn't zoom in, but I didn't realize this is an actual thorn or like a spike. So this might be for like during mating. This might be for helping the shark secure itself as it's mating. So pretty interesting. I'll X out of that. Point map of catch location for the sandy morph. So it looks like the sandy morph of the zebra shark was captured in off the coast of Kenya, in this area, so in the Indian Ocean. So I'm just going to scan this and see, because I want to kind of figure out why they're reverting to Stegostoma tigrinum. I'm curious why that name is going to replace Stegostoma fasciatum, so I'm just going to scan this. I'm going to check the comments really quick as well. Oh, nice. Roy, be right back. Game pizza. Go for it, man. It's definitely. I know you are Canadian, but it is honorary American Thanksgiving. I, as an American, share honorarily Thanksgiving with you, and Howard, of course, because yeah, it's Thursday is because Canadian Thanksgiving's in October, right? American Thanksgiving is this Thursday, so yeah. Pizza. Point being, pizza sounds like a solid choice. So. I have a question, by the way. This is gonna sound really dumb, but like, so in America, Christmas is huge, and usually after Thanksgiving, most like, and I would say like the holiday season in general is very huge, and usually most of it being. Like, when I say Christmas, I mean, like, the commercial side of Christmas, like Santa, trees, presents, all that stuff. Huge in this country. Huge. Is it? I'm assuming it's similarly huge in Canada, right? Like, right? Or I'm curious if there's any difference, because, like, you know, people freak out down here, like, about Christmas, myself included. I very much like just the festive season, but I'm assuming that's the same for Canada, right? And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm curious if there's any like differences. Because I didn't know, for example, for the longest time, I had no idea that the Thanksgivings were different. So, I'm just scanning for the description, and I'll keep an eye on the chat as well. Let's see. Trying to zoom forward to discussion. Here we go. Okay, nomenclature of zebra shark has a long, complicated history. No real consensus has been reached. Okay, this is weird. Okay. Again, this is really weird to me because it's not like we're talking about Carcharinus. We're talking about like this one shark, you know, it's this one species in this family. Although Stegostoma fasciatum has been the most commonly used name in the last decades, other names are used as well. Mentions that Stegostoma tigrinum should have this study mentions that Stegostoma tigrinum should have priority under code article what? Like, what code is this? Code Article 23.9.1, which states that if a name has been used after 1899, it cannot be suppressed. Stegostoma tigrinum has been used at least 21 times from 1903 to 2016. Nevertheless, Stegostoma fasciatum has been accepted as a scientific name for the zebra shark by Compagno 1984 and most authors since, even though this description is based on a 1759 thing and not on an actual specimen. Oh, interesting. Sorry, this is really nerdy, but it's very interesting to me. Also, okay, awesome. Also, Howard, absolutely doubt there's much of a difference. Okay, that's what I thought. I was just wanted to check. Very, very curious about that. Let's see. So, but this is interesting. So in 1759, an author named Seba was like, okay, we're going to just call this Stegostoma fasciatum. I don't have a specimen, but I'm just going to refer to the zebra shark as Stegostoma fasciatum. And that just kind of got accepted, while simultaneously the correct name that's tied to an individual specimen that's been collected was Stegostoma tigrinum. And so this kind of got, this is so old and kind of got so out of hand that most authors, including Campagno, who we've seen a lot and who's a huge hand in sharks of the world, is like one of the most famous shark scientists in the world. So it's kind of amazing to see how really, I guess, baked in or like embedded the idea that this was the right name was, when technically, when you go back in time, this is not really correctly tied to an individual specimen, and therefore we kind of, if you're following the rules as far as taxonomy goes, you have to have a name that's tied to a specimen, and it also has to be an actively used name, and this name, Stegostoma tigrinum, has been actively used. So, very interesting. Let's see. So this is just like classic. This is worthy of like kind of like fossil taxonomy debate, like this is classic, like we must name things correctly. And this is quite a journey, actually. Like because at the end of the day it almost sounds really absurd, but like ultimately, like, yeah, I mean, the correct names matter, but this is kind of wild how extensive this is. I had no idea. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so much drama here. References to the name S. fasciatum were not made until 1940s. Until the beginning of 1990s, relatively few studies refer to zebra shark as S. fasciatum. And, I'm a 90s kid, so I am, I guess, a child of the time of error, which is crazy. However, the use of the name increased drastically thereafter, which is funny because it's like, yeah, that's the name I grew up with, Stegostoma fasciatum. So, conclusion by Campagno S. fasciatum should be the accepted name was biased by an incomplete synonymy, as the work of Forster in 1781 was not included. This is just drama. This is crazy. Blah, 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 drama. We argue that the correct species name should be Stegostoma tigrinum and not Stegostoma fasciatum, and we encourage future studies to use this name as a scientific name for the zebra shark. Likewise, the International Commission on Zoological Nomenclature should rule on the official scientific name of this species. Okay, gotcha. So, okay, I agree with Stegostoma tigrinum. That makes sense. I get it. So it just was like an error that just wasn't corrected for the longest time. So what's interesting is it looks like this is going to be, set in stone. I'm just skipping over to the IUCN Red List, which is kind of like, an authority of conservation as far as sharks go. It looks like they bumped out the old name, Stegostoma fasciatum, and they're sticking with the new one, Stegostoma tigrinum. So, very interesting. I'll just scan through any interesting thing on the color morphs, and then we'll kind of go back to just fun facts about the zebra shark, just to kind of be mindful of time. Let's see. So the two color morphs are genetically similar and do not exhibit physical differences, like morphological differences, except for the color pattern. Interesting. We conclude that two morphs represent the same species, but that the Kenyan zebra shark population, so that's the sandy morph, Differs slightly from other geographically separated zebra sharks. Cool. Okay. So I think the rest is just going to be kind of more details on the morphs. The puzzling question of how the color variation emerged in the zebra sharks is not easily answered with the present data. None of the sandy color morphs were observed in their natural habitat, and we only know that they were caught on a sandy substrate. The suggestion that the juvenile zebra morph mimics a pattern of venomous brown-banded sea snakes to avoid predation cannot be applied for the sandy color morph. Hence, the swirly pattern and the sandy colors fit the theory of camouflage better, especially camouflage on sandy substrate. Thus, several scenarios for the evolution of the sandy zebra morph can be proposed. 1. It is evolved due to a mutation in a color-coding gene. 2. It can be explained by epigenetics. Or 3. By sexual selection. Okay. Okay. Okay, it is imperative that the sharks are also studying the natural habitat to understand the nature of the coexistence of two morphs. Okay, I am going to assume that I'm going to assume that the zebra sharks in Kenya, if they do live on a sandy substrate, that maybe, and I don't really know if sea snakes, like in that species in particular, I don't know if they actually go that far west in the Indian Ocean. So my guess is that maybe the default zebra shark color pattern is like the sea snake camo pattern, and that zebra sharks that maybe in the sandy environment really don't need it and are perfectly fine. Maybe natural selection as far as like selecting for if you are a banded zebra shark in a sandy environment, you're going to maybe stick out more than a pale zebra shark like the sandy morph in the sandy environment. So I'm going to assume that this is maybe just something to do with like blending into the environment better, but that's kind of my guess. There's clearly a lot more to the study. So again, this is 2019, the sandy zebra shark, a new color morph of the zebra shark. So really cool paper. It's publicly accessible, so feel free to check out more. I got this from sharkreferences.com, and but pretty cool. I had no idea that there was like two different morphs of this species. So, Howard, I just saw your comment. Agreed. I do think it should be tied to a specimen. Yes, agreed. Also, I accidentally clicked Safari. Sorry about that. I definitely agree. And it looks like Stegostoma tigrinum is tied to a specimen, and Stegostoma fasciatum is not. So I definitely agree with that. I think they're doing the right thing. It threw me off because I'm just not used to this, but I think they're doing the right thing. So IUC Umbrellas, I do want to check out how the shark is doing. Unfortunately, it's an endangered species, so let's check out why. Let's see. The zebra shark is broadly distributed, continental and insular shelf species of the Indo-West Pacific. It is usually found within a narrow band of shallow coral reef habitat and soft bottom that is heavily fished throughout all of its range except Australia. It is taken to inshore fisheries and regularly seen in fish markets in Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Pakistan, India, Taiwan, and elsewhere. There are limited data on population decline in these areas, with the exception of the Gulf of Thailand, but the species is susceptible to capture in a wide range of fisheries, has a narrow habitat range with potential limited dispersal, shows strong site fidelity. Oh, that's not good. So, it's very predictable where it's going to be as far as its coral reef habitat goes. So that means like if there's a reef that is heavily fished, it's really increasing the likelihood of catching the zebra shark, which is really sad. And forms aggregations which facilitate the rapid removal of individuals. That's really sad, actually. Damn. Population genetic analysis supports two subpopulations of the zebra shark, Indian Ocean Southeast Asian and Eastern Indonesian Oceania. The greatest levels of exploitation and ongoing threats for the species occur in Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand through to Indonesia. Given little or no genetic exchange from unexploited areas, it is suspected that this subpopulation has declined by at least 50% over the last 3 generations. And these threats are suspected to continue. Damn. Therefore, the Indian Ocean Southeast Asian subpopulation is considered endangered. The other one, the Eastern Indian Oceania subpopulation, is composed of regions with minimal exploitation to the species, as well as regions of greater fishing pressure and habitat threats. In particular, the zebra shark in Australian waters is considered least concern. Thank you again, Australia. Australia always comes out with, like, I feel like there's multiple sharks we've seen that are doing better in Australia than in other parts of the world. I appreciate Australia's I just appreciate how Australia does things, because it's I don't know. I don't know if it's an active conservation effort or like an active fisheries effort, but like, you know, this is definitely like at least like the 4th, 5th species we've seen do better in Australia than compared to other parts of the world. So go Australia. So Australian waters is considered least concern due to minimal impacts from fishing, non-consumptive exploitation, and habitat loss. Interesting. Tracking studies suggest there's likely to be an exchange between Australian waters and the Arafura Sea in eastern Indonesian waters, where extensive trawl fishing occurs. So that sucks. So if a zebra shark is living in Australia, it actually might be like breeding or migrating to an area that actually has heavy fishing. So it still might be in danger. It's not good. By combining the population assessments according to relative area, the Indian Ocean Southeast Asian subpopulation has approximately 70% of available habitat. The Eastern Indonesian Oceania subpopulation has approximately 30% of available habitat. And given the ongoing threats from fishing and habitat loss across much of its range and suspected reductions of over 50% of its population size within 3 generations, this species is assessed globally as endangered. Gotcha. So sorry, I know that was a mouthful, but that's a very robust assessment, and it's really sad. And what's interesting is that it's a very popular aquarium species. I'm glad to see that was not really referenced as far as it looks like it's bycatch more than a targeted fishery. Let me make sure I got that right. Heavily fished. Yeah, let's see. IUCN Red List does. Oh, look at that range, by the way. That's actually really small as far as sharks go. So the upper depth limit is at the surface. The lower depth limit is 62 meters. That's really, really small. So this is definitely. Remember I said about the eyes, how they're really tiny, and they, you know, like it's kind of an indicator that it doesn't go into deep water. It likes to be in bright, shallow water, coral reef environments. Like that definitely supports that. So that's a very small range, and that's really bad because it's like there's no refuge at depth. Like the shark can't dive deep to escape most fishing pressure. It's going to run into humans a lot. That's not good. Let's see. Use and trade. Here we go. Zebra sharks are landed for their fins, skins, meat, and cartilage. They're kept in aquaria around the world. They're valuable within the recreational scuba diving industry. That's good, particularly in Eastern Australia, near fucking in Thailand and elsewhere. I assume I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I haven't. Interesting. So I appreciate that. Maybe I was a little nervous because the species is so popular that I was a little nervous that it would be targeted for like private aquariums, but I appreciate that that's not really the case. It's kind of more like a victim of fishing pressure, which is really sad. But at least, I mean, that's one less threat, but still, this is a shark that's not doing well. That's a solidly endangered species. We've seen a couple assessments that are endangered that are kind of doing that as an, like, you know, more of an abundance of caution. But this particular species, I do feel like, yeah, that's that's definitely an endangered shark, and I'm really glad that we're talking about it tonight, and kind of talking about what it. Let's talk about what it needs. What conservation plans are in place? Hey, it's Sir Douglas Bain. Sorry about that. Saw the fuzzy audio comment. Let's see. Howard, endangered everywhere but Australia. Yeah, again, I really appreciate Australia just, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's just how Australia manages its fisheries or if there's active conservation. And I feel like it's both. I mean, because I'm sure there's a lot of protected areas in Australia, especially with the Great Barrier Reef. So, and there's a lot of great shark science from Australia. So yeah, I really appreciate. This is definitely one of many species we've seen is doing better in Australia versus other places. So, please let me know if the. Oh, Roy. They put green olives instead of green peppers in. Oh no! I'm sorry, my man. Oh, that's the worst. I'm really sorry about that. Was that Domino's? I'm sorry. Domino's is usually really good, but sorry about that. Oh man, we were just talking about. Glad you're back. We were talking about the zebra shark. We're about to look at conservation to see what it needs. Unfortunately, the zebra shark is an endangered species. It's running into a lot of fishing pressure. I think the biggest thing is that it doesn't really it has high site fidelity, where it likes to be around specific coral reefs in groups, and it doesn't go into deep water. So that means it can't really escape fishing pressure, especially if there are particular reefs that are targeted as good fishing grounds. So if fishermen are targeting a specific reef, they're gonna probably run into the zebra shark. So it's doing better in Australia, not as well in other parts, like in the Indo-Pacific. So, or I just saw your comment, it could have been anchovies. So that is a fair point for the pizza. Let's see conservation actions. Within Australia, the zebra shark occurs within several marine protected areas, including the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park and Moreton Bay Marine Park in Queensland. Awesome. The Gulf of Papua Trawl Fishery in southern Papua New Guinea is managed under national laws and regulations, and there are some seasonal closures in place. That's good. Although bycatch reduction devices are not currently in place, there are plans to implement in the near future. The zebra shark is protected under the Malaysian Fisheries Act, therefore catches are opportunistic and landings not reported. Okay, gotcha. So, there's something, it's not a lot, but there is something. So, I do have to say, just kind of a shout out to marine protected areas in general. These are the coolest things for a lot of reasons, and it's not just, me personally wanting the sharks to be okay and having, safe sharks. This is also for the benefit of fishermen, ultimately, too. If you have a marine protected area and you have that as a no-take zone and a refuge, you do allow fish to grow to their maximum size, and eventually, their offspring, or even those fish themselves, exit the area and repopulate other areas, and you actually increase the yield of surrounding areas, ultimately. So if you allocate one part of the ocean as a marine protected area, you create a safe space for fish to breed and to get to their maximum size, and then once they leave the area, you can fish for them. And ultimately, if you have a marine protected area, it ultimately benefits the surrounding ocean that is available for fishing, because you're ensuring that there's more individuals, born into the surrounding environment, but then also larger individuals that might leak out into the surrounding environment, and ultimately it just kind of makes for a better picture for the ocean as a whole. So it's not just we're protecting species and making sure that they're okay, but it's also that we're ultimately helping fishermen and their economy, as far as hey, if we have this no-take zone, your surrounding areas are actually going to genuinely benefit from it. And the best way to think about it is it literally is like an investment. You can't completely crash a stock and expect things to get better. You do have to invest a little bit to get something out of it. Like, you have to invest in areas like marine protected areas and no-take zones, because ultimately it's actually going to make sure that your industry as a fisherman is sustainable, in the sense that you're not taking everything and leaving nothing for the future. So I'm a huge fan of marine protected areas. I think it's a win-win for everybody, and just I appreciate Australia having these, in particular the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park and Moreton Bay Marine Park in Queensland. That's awesome, and that's my plug for marine protected areas. Florida actually has a few, and did a few studies about their impact to. Actually, a lot of the United States has marine protected areas, and we're the United States has quite a few, but there are a lot of studies, and I do remember Florida in particular, of that same phenomenon, where if you have a designated area that's a no-take zone, it actually ultimately benefits the surrounding area that you can take from. So, really cool. I definitely support marine protected areas. Please invest in those. Those are very important. So, yeah. Let's see. Zebra shark. I actually do want to check out. This is a fun little shout out. I'm not too far away from the Virginia Aquarium, and I forgot that they actually have a zebra shark exhibit, because one interesting thing that both the Virginia Aquarium and Virginia Living Museum, that's another museum kind of, I'm around it. One interesting thing that they both do is that they have a showcase of what the environment was like millions of years ago, and it was definitely more of a tropical environment, reminiscent of the Red Sea. So they have a Red Sea exhibit as kind of an example of hey, Virginia used to be very tropical. I mean, like the entire Mid-Atlantic used to be very tropical, and now it's not. It's a temperate environment, but they have zebra sharks here. So thought it'd be a fun shout out. This is a pretty solid aquarium. I really enjoy the Virginia Aquarium. They do really cool whale watching trips, and have a really great exhibit on Norfolk Canyon in particular. But I thought it'd be really cool to kind of take a look at their blurb on the zebra shark, just kind of more quick facts about the species. So let's see. Zebra sharks are docile and slow moving, not dangerous to humans, and can be easily approached underwater. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, oh no. Sorry, I just celebrated this aquarium and I just saw something really horrible. Oh no. Leave a comment. Can you guys see what's wrong with this picture? There's something really wrong with this. There's something really wrong with this. I don't want to block it with the, damn, I'm kind of putting them on blast. I'm so sorry. But, can you guys see what's wrong with this? Oh, no. I might kind of comment. I'm gonna read this paragraph out loud. It's really horrible. I'm sorry, Virginia Aquarium. I went in with best intentions, but here we go. Zebra sharks are docile, slow-moving species, not dangerous to humans. It can be easily approached underwater. They're the sole member belonging to the Stegostomatidae family of the species of carpet sharks, but there are different varieties of these sharks present in the oceans, including zebra bullhead shark and zebra horn shark. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that's really bad. That's really bad. That's really bad. That's really bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah. I'm gonna start your comments. I really appreciate that we have an awesome stream. Yeah, Roy, this is why I sometimes dislike aquariums. Yep, sometimes. Yeah, agreed. Again, I enjoy this aquarium, but yeah, I'm gonna write to them to correct that because that's pretty bad. So, for any future viewers, this is a really bad sentence because it's saying that zebra bullhead sharks and zebra horn sharks, which are completely different species. They're in a completely different order. It's like it's really bad. Like they're so removed from what this shark is that it's kind of like saying like it's honestly the equivalent of saying like there are many kinds of elephants, including the elephant seal and the elephant shrew. It's literally the same thing. Like, actually, taxonomically, it's the same thing. Like, as far as, like, oh, that's a bad mistake. So, I'm so sorry. We're going to X out of here. I am so sorry, Virginia Aquarium. I like you. I didn't mean to put you on blast. I'm going to make a note to actually write to them about that, because that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, that's really bad. Yeah. By the way, just as guidance, I've done that before, rarely, but like, for any kind of aquarium or any educational thing where it's like the information is not correct, you can write to them directly and just be like, hey, respectfully, this is not really a correct fact, and you should probably not have this on your website. So we will do that. So we all caught that. I'm so sorry for blasting my home state's aquarium, but like I will write to them. So yeah, it's not good. That's really bad. Like I know like an elephant seal, elephant shrew. Like for me to compare it like that sounds really bad, but it's like no, that literally is. It's the same equivalent. It's an order removed. That's really bad. So yeah, yeah, we'll take care of that. I'll write to them. So let's go back to Florida Museum of Natural History for fun facts about the zebra shark. And yeah, let's see. This smallest crunching coastal carpet shark, great sentence, was misidentified for years by taxonomists. Due to black and white stripes of pups eventually turning to spotted adults, the two different life stages were thought to be different species. Zebra sharks are popular attractions for ecotourism and public aquariums. Oh, this is cool. So, have you guys heard of this name for the zebra shark? The variegated shark. It's a little bit of a mouthful. I kind of like it. I don't think I've heard of that one before. I've heard of leopard shark and zebra shark, but I don't think I've heard of variegated shark. So, interesting. Lots of names for the species. Wow. Very cool. So many. Oh. Alright. I'm just kind of scanning through this, but captive breeding programs have been very successful, adding great numbers to aquarium stock and reintroduction to the wild. So that's good to know. So zebra sharks are an egg-laying species. So, and I think by being a sluggish animal that spends most of its time at the surface, I wonder if that maybe helps with captivity, and also being a buccal pumper, being able to actively pump water over its gills. So. Let's see. It's often observed sitting on the bottoms in close proximity to coral reefs. The species is being recorded in marine and brackish waters as well as in freshwater. I kind of am suspicious of that. I don't know. This does not seem like a species you'd find in fresh water, but let's see. Just kind of breezing through biology. This is so interesting. I thought this was going to be kind of more of a chill night, but there's a lot of drama with the shark. Like, between the taxonomy debate and then, that issue. So, oh, Howard, haven't heard that one. I think it applies best to juveniles in transitional development. Yeah, good call. I agree with that as far as like, and it's interesting. It's a good example of, as far as English names go, like you have to be very careful what you choose because actually even that applies to even the zebra shark because I don't know what else you would call it, but it's like that's referring to one stage in its life cycle. So and then if you call it, you can't really call it a leopard shark because we already have one. Like this shark, which is also completely different. This is our classic leopard shark. So this was a cool article from Patty. I forget what that means, but it's the largest dive school or dive organization in the world. I'm pretty sure Patty's much larger than SSI. But anyway, there's a cool article, talking about zebra sharks and comparing them to their, like saying how zebra sharks are called leopard sharks in other parts of the world, and how, there's this species which is a leopard shark, which is a totally different animal, and how confusion happens. So, names are important. That was a long way of saying that, but. Interesting. These nocturnal hunters feed primarily on mollusks, crustaceans, small bony fishes, and even sea snakes. Sucking up their prey with powerful buccal cavity muscles. Okay, very cool. Kind of like nurse sharks. It squirms into narrow crevices and channels and reefs searching for prey. I would love to see like another reference about it eating sea snakes, just to be on the safe side. But that would be really cool if it actually does that. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Also known to eat, so this is fish base, good go-to resource. Also known to eat crustaceans, crabs and shrimps, and sea snakes. Damn, I had no idea that it did that, actually. Just want to check the reference. But fish base is really solid, so yeah. I believe it. Oh, Compagno. Okay, awesome. Yep, nope, I trust that. Yep, so... That's kind of wild, actually, when you think about it. So juvenile zebra sharks allegedly have that color pattern to mimic sea snakes, but then zebra sharks predate on sea snakes. So I don't know what that means in terms of... it's kind of fascinating, actually. Interesting. Oh, wow. This is pretty wild. So the species is oviparous, so meaning it lays eggs. Individuals in captivity have been known to lay eggs annually for up to 3 months at a time, producing 40 to 80 eggs per year. Wow. Oh, and here we go again. Zebra sharks are known to reproduce asexually as well via parthenogenesis, the development of an unfertilized egg, making the offspring essentially a clone of the mother. That's so cool. That's so crazy. So. Oh, did anyone see the recent footage of small shark fighting an isopod? No. Where's that, Howard? Like that? Do you know what species it is? I do want to know this. The taxonomy. Stegostoma is derived from the Greek stego, meaning cover, and stoma, meaning mouth. And it looks like this has not been updated because it's kind of stuck with the Stegostoma fasciatum, so we'll kind of leave that. But great. I want to see if there's any other kind of quick facts. Here are some photos from Annie Merck, really fantastic shark photographer. I think we've seen a lot of well, actually, no, that's pretty gorgeous right there. Hope I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Actually, yeah, these are excellent shots of this stunning species. All adults in these photographs. Man. Like, I love that it's not only, again, the color palette is a very pretty looking shark, but it's a very dramatic looking shark in a lot of ways, just between like the strong ridges and the billowing tail, and yet this very adorable, cute, chonky body. It's simultaneously adorable, beautiful, graceful, strong. I mean, it's an amazing shark. Very, very cool. I want to pull up any more quick facts before we take a look at. I'm particularly interested in this whole dark diversity thing, so I do want to take a look at what that means. But let's see if there's any other interesting quick facts about zebra sharks. Okay, zebra sharks live throughout the tropical western Indo-Pacific. Yeah, nothing really new here, so I might X out of that. Oops, didn't mean to click that much. Oh, this is a really beautiful, I'm not sure what this organization is, Star Project, but this is a really beautiful shot of these gorgeous juvenile zebra sharks with their dramatic color palette, or dramatic coloring. In recent years, zebra sharks populations in Raja Ampat, West Papua Province, Indonesia, have undergone dramatic declines in the wake of threats like habitat degradation and overharvesting due to shark finning. Raja Ampat contains an extensive network of some of the world's most well-enforced marine protected areas. These measures have enabled dramatic recoveries of other shark species. However, the eastern Indonesian Oceania subpopulation of zebra sharks remains on the brink of extinction. Conservation, including fisheries regulations and the creation of marine protected areas, have not been sufficient for the recovery of this species. Research and conservation planning have revealed that the species are unlikely to recover without additional intervention. STAR Project, led by the West Papua Provincial Government and the Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, aims to recover zebra shark populations that are important for healthy marine ecosystems. This project involves multiple partners' collaboration at the global and national levels to ensure zebra shark species are recovered and protected for the long-term benefit of the Indonesian people. This is cool. Experts conceive that leveraging the proven breeding success and husbandry expertise of accredited aquariums could be critical in the recovery of this species. Through genetic testing, adult sharks from the eastern Indonesian Oceania subpopulation have been identified at accredited facilities around the world. These broodstock are being purpose-bred for the STAR Project. Wow, that's really cool. Also, I want to send a redemption to Virginia Aquarium. Virginia Aquarium is accredited by the American Association of Zoos and Aquarias. I am very curious if they probably are participating in this, or not maybe this specifically, but participating in a breeding program for zebra sharks. I hope they are, but if not, they could be, because they do have a zebra shark in. I'm sure there's like they're, since they are part of our main accreditation, I'm sure there's some at least dialogue about that. So yeah, so redemption, just sending some redemption points. If you're not part of it, Virginia Aquarium, if you ever watch this, please get a part of it. Because I just want to send you some zebra shark redemption. So but this is really cool. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is okay, yeah, so the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So this is what I was talking about. Virginia Aquarium is a part of that. We got Shed Aquarium, which had that clip of zebra sharks' courtship behavior. Oh, North Carolina Aquarium. Now that one is awesome. New England Aquarium. Solid Aquarium. Georgia Aquarium, very famous. And there it is. Okay, redemption. Thank God. Like, okay, so I will write to the Virginia Aquarium about their website error, but they are participating in this very important program to reintroduce zebra sharks to the wild. That vastly outweighs the website error. I will still write to them, but this redemption is given to the Virginia Aquarium. They are participating actively in the STAR Project, so I really appreciate that. Thank goodness. Like, oh my gosh, what a night. So, all right, and just catching up on comments. YouTube is likely a cat shark, very small. Giant isopod kills a shark. Yikes! I gotta see that later. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm so curious about the dark diversity study, because I've never heard of this. But yeah, we've got some time, because I was going to say might be a good time to think about next week's shark, just for fun. We've got plenty of time left because, like, I'm pretty wired, honestly. But like, if anybody has any ideas for next week's shark, please leave it in the comments. And I didn't mention this at the top of the stream. We're episode 50, which is pretty cool. We are, I think, 1/9 of the way. I think we're even further behind than that. There's 500. Last time I checked, there's over 515 sharks. So if I could do math right, we're basically 1/10 of the way there. So I honestly think we're 1/11 of the way there because there's so many new species. So it's kind of wild. 50 episodes and we're 1/11 of the way. Will we cover every single shark in the world? Who knows? We will see. But happy episode 50 though. Like that's actually pretty amazing. We got to 50 sharks. So all right. So what in the world is this about? This is from Science Advances. Environmental DNA illuminates the dark diversity of sharks. Now, clearly, that's an eye-grabbing title. I don't know what that means, because it makes you think of like dark matter or the Dark Knight. This is by Germaine Bousser, Judith Baker, Owen S. Wagenstein, Stefano Mariani, Lucas Bonin, Jean-Baptiste Juhel, Jeremy J. Kizka, Michael Kolbicki, Stephanie Manel, and David Mouliot. So, and can I see more authors? Oh, and Laurent Vigliola and David and William D. Robbins. Sorry. Okay, in the area of Anthropocene defaunation, so meaning like humans ruining things, large species are often no longer detected in habitats where they formerly occurred. That's true. What's kind of like in my backyard in Virginia, wolves, that we used to have wolves, we don't. Bison, we used to have bison, we don't. Mastodon, those are things that we used to have. I mean, like not like in recent memory, but like many thousands of years ago. I don't know exactly how long ago wolves, bison, and mastodon were in like eastern North America, but they were in eastern North America at one point in time, before just, going extinct. It's part of why deer are so crazy. Like the deer population is so high in the eastern part of the U.S. is because their natural predators are not there. Like, in the eastern U.S., like wolves ideally should be there, but they're not. So sorry. It's a thing. It's a thing. So, however, it is unclear whether this apparent missing or dark diversity of megafauna results from local species extirpations or from failure to detect elusive remaining individuals. We find that despite 2 orders of magnitude less sampling effort, environmental DNA, eDNA, detects 44% more shark species than traditional underwater visual censuses and baited videos across the New Caledonian Archipelago, southwestern Pacific. This is an odd. I don't know what this. Environmental DNA? I don't know what that is. Furthermore, eDNA analysis reveals the presence of previously unobserved shark species in human-impacted areas. Overall, our results highlight a greater prevalence of sharks than described by traditional survey methods in both impacted and wilderness areas. This indicates an urgent need for large-scale eDNA assessments. We gotta know what in the world that is, because I don't think I've ever heard of that before, to improve monitoring of threatened and elusive megafauna. Finally, our findings emphasize the need for conservation efforts specifically geared towards the protection of elusive residual populations. This sounds very cool, but very... I really want to know what in the world they're talking about as far as eDNA goes. It sounds borderline quacky, but let's see what this is about. Oh, cool. Sorry, let's see lots of comments. Just catching up. So Douglas Bait, epaulet shark. Really good suggestion. I think we did do that, but there are multiple species. So we can actually do a different species of epaulet shark. I'm pretty sure there's yeah, there's actually a lot. Hold on. Let's do that. Let's do. I do want to check that. And I'm gonna leave a comment on. Let's see. I'm just gonna pick out a color actually. This one looks pretty cool. Strahani. No, that's not it. That's not an epaulet shark. Sorry, I'm almost there. Mikali? I think we should do... Let's do Michael's epaulet shark, because it has a really cool color palette. So let me put that in there. But thank you, Sir Duckless Bane. Yeah, let's definitely do, because I'm pretty sure we've done the classic one, but there's multiple species of epaulet sharks, so let's definitely do one. And I love your comment, land sharks. Yes, these are super cool. Epaulet sharks can famously crawl out of tide pools to better... they can crawl on the seabed, but they can also crawl out of tide pools to kind of help combat low tide situations where they want to get to a different pool for prey items or for hunting. So, but let's do Michael's. I've never heard of this particular species before. Epaulet shark. That's Hemiscelium Mikali. Make sure I get that right. Okay. Thank you, Sir Duckless Bane. It's a cool suggestion. So yeah, let's definitely do... This shark is in Papua New Guinea, so it's kind of cool. It's in the same area, and it might be a new species. So let's check it out next week. So thank you for the suggestion. So and then Howard just saw your comment. We had wolves in the suburbs when I was a boy. Oh my gosh, that's wild. What if you don't mind me asking, what province of Canada are you in again? Are you in? I'm not gonna even attempt because it's like I know I should know this, but like I think I'm gonna get some of the provinces confused, so I'm gonna shut up. But that's pretty wild though, because it's like I think most of the Ontario. Gotcha. Because I think most of, as far as the United States goes, like as far as the lower 48 states go, I don't think we really. I think Montana has some wolf populations. I think that might be it. Because I really think they're more concentrated. Now I'm very curious about this. I do want to... Hold on. Sorry, I'm fascinated by this, so I do want to check this out really quick. And we'll go back to dark diversity. But this is related. Because it is about, like, megafauna not being part of their original range. It's kind of wild to see that the gray wolf is least concerned, unless you're counting dogs, or, like, I don't know. This is the same species, but anyway. Oh, look at that. I didn't know that wolves actually range that far. Look at that. So we got wolves in Wisconsin, Minnesota. I had no idea that they were actually that far east. Montana, Wyoming, there we go. Idaho, Oregon, Washington. Interesting. Lots of Canada. Everywhere except Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Prince Edward Island. We got wolves in Alaska. That's wild. And then a reintroduction effort in New Mexico and Arizona. That's crazy. So I didn't know it was that big, actually. I thought wolves were actually more limited as far as like the United States goes. So very cool. All right. So let's see. Human activities are largely responsible for defaunation of ecosystems, massive population declines. This global wave of defaunation may dramatically increase local dark diversity, defined as a suite of species that should be present within a certain region, based on their habitat requirements and dispersal ability, yet are absent. Okay, I like that concept. That is, dark diversity encompasses the diversity of locally absent species, although biogeographic history, as well as ecological and environmental conditions, suggest their presence. Okay. My question is, how do you even detect that, though? Like, I guess you could detect that with, like there's clues, like, for example, this is a really simple example, but again, like, an area with a lot of deer is like, oh, it makes sense that maybe their natural predator is missing. I'm sure there's, like, more nuanced examples as far as, like, the best thing I can think of is kelp forests, where if you have a kelp forest that is, like, kind of out of whack and there's a lot of sea urchins there, it probably means that there aren't sea otters in the area, because sea otters are the natural predator of sea urchins, and they help kind of control the sea urchin population, and sea urchins, eat kelp, or, like, kind of, like, gnaw at the roots of kelp. So you can do clues like that, but I feel like this is a very tricky concept, and you have to be very careful. Although then again, I mean, I feel like with the right methods, you could pull something like this off, as far as, like, reasonable, like, if you have, like, a combination of a certain plant type and a certain foraging food type, and like you could probably kind of do this kind of detective work and create this idea of dark diversity, but you have to do the methods have to be really right, because, like, I'm immediately nervous of, like, making crap up, in terms of, like, we used to have orangutans in the States, and now we don't, like, or we used to have kangaroos, like, but, they're gone. Anyway, sorry. Let's see. I'm just kind of scanning this. Accordingly, an ongoing concern is whether this megafaunal dark diversity has been correctly measured or overestimated as a result of non-detection of remaining individuals by traditional sampling methods. It's this is it is a cool concept, but it's just so, like, oh man, I'm nervous about, like, please don't say that, like, Bigfoot was, like, like, part of dark diversity and just, like, missing, like, I don't think they're doing it. I think they are, based on just kind of this presentation so far. This is very interesting. I don't think I've really heard of this. Accurate assessment of dark diversity is particularly problematic for low-density mobile species such as sharks. Oh, man. Throughout the Pacific, the density of reef sharks has declined to 3 to 10% of pre-human levels, and even the most well-managed marine protected areas appear inadequate in maintaining healthy shark populations. It is unclear, however, whether reported levels of dark diversity of sharks are due to local extirpations or to a failure of detecting remaining animals. Similar to most terrestrial vertebrates, sharks exhibit learning abilities linked to avoidance behavior, and repeated exposure to negative anthropogenic interactions may increase their elusiveness. This raises the possibility that sharks' prevalence in marine habitats, even close to humans, may be greater than previously thought, with individuals being less detectable, therefore overinflating the apparent level of dark diversity. This is really tricky territory. This is very, very tricky. Oh, yeah, because there's quite a few ifs in this. It's interesting. Environmental DNA, eDNA analysis is based on the retrieval of genetic material naturally released by organisms in their environments, and it is emerging as a non-invasive method to detect and identify even rare and elusive species in a wide range of ecosystems, including marine waters. Wow. Okay. Here we assess the potential of eDNA metabarcoding in providing a more accurate estimate of the the dark diversity of sharks on coral reefs in the New Caledonian archipelago by contrasting eDNA analysis with traditional underwater visual census and beta remote underwater video station and survey methods. Okay. So this sounds actually pretty cool, pretty solid. Birds are awesome. You know, they're actually really great field. How do you get this DNA? Like as far as environmental, like how in the world do you collect that? I'm just catching comments. Howard, yeah. The North American cheetah and the pronghorn antelope. You know what's crazy though? There is an antelope here. What is this? I'm not even joking. There is, it's the weirdest thing. Crap, what is that? Let's go to Wikipedia. Let's just go here. Sorry, pay no mind as I... Antelope. I don't live here, by the way. I'm just pay no mind. I swear there is one that actually lives in North America. Sorry, I'm on a tangent, but... I know there's one in North America. It's not a muskox. It's... No, there's one. There's one here. There's a weird. Okay, North American antelope. Pronghorn. Is that it? The pronghorn. I think that is it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, it's a series of. So I don't know if that's... oh, yeah. Oh, it's not... Okay, sorry. I got that wrong. Okay, it looks like an antelope. It's not an antelope. It clearly says, though not an antelope, it is known colloquially in North America as the American antelope. So, we were close. So, sorry. Very curious about that. Let's go back to dark diversity. The pronghorn... Oh, sorry. I should have read your comment, Howard. The pronghorn. Yeah. Also, Sir Douglas Bain, really good point. Actually, let me start that, because like you're absolutely right. Historical records probably help, for sure. I mean, you know, that actually would be like another data point and another clue as far as like measuring between, you know, like, are we like missing something like in this particular area? I think part of like that kind of concept helped with the lost shark. I think it's Carcharodontis absolius, which has previously been thought to be extinct, and then there's like records of it in different areas. It's been seen in the fish market at one point in time. So yeah, it's like that's a really good point. Historical records definitely would help with this entire concept. So how it is related to the giraffe, it runs at 60 miles per hour because there's a fossil species of cheetah feeding on it. That's really... Whoa, that's really cool, actually. I did not know that. Wow, because it seems so odd that it lives here. Like, you know, it's such a strange-looking animal. Alright, let's see. Results in... Oh. Wait a minute, what just happened? I see introduction. I see results in discussion. I don't see methods. Hold on. Okay, how did you get the eDNA? Okay, this is really cool. Okay, All right, this is a really cool chart, but I am very suspicious of it. I think this is solid. I don't think this is quackery, but we need to figure out how in the world did you get eDNA is the question. Like, how did you get environmental DNA? So as far as what this chart is showing, everything in the red bar is sharks that are supposedly detected by eDNA. The sharks in the green bar are visual ID. So we got the sandbar shark, Carcharodontis plumbeus, the nurse shark. Oh no, the tawny nurse shark. Sorry, tawny nurse shark, Nebrius ferruginous. The scalloped hammerhead, one of my favorites, Sphaenoloini. And then the blue thing is BRUVS, so baited remote underwater video surveys. So the silver-tip shark, I believe, is Carcharodontis oblongomaganatus. Oh no. Gray reef shark, I think, is Carcharodontis amblyrhynchos. The black tip reef shark, Carcharodontis melanopterus. Our beautiful zebra shark, S. fasciatum, Stegostoma fasciatum. The sickle fin lemon. A lot of these are familiar. These are definitely. This is our group, you know, like sickle fin lemon shark, black tip reef shark, the zebra shark, the sandbar shark. We covered a lot of these actually, and the classic white tip reef shark here, and then the tiger shark, of course. But I want to figure out how in the world are you getting eDNA before we highlight these species. We got to figure out where are you getting this. eDNA analysis. Oh, here we go. Materials and methods. Okay, this is kind of an odd arrangement. Okay, eDNA collection and sample processing. eDNA samples were collected during September to November 2015 on coral reef external slopes. Each 4-liter water sample consisted of 2 liters sampled at depths of 5 meters and 2 liters sampled at depths of 20 meters. Collected with a Niskin water sampler. After collection, water samples were individually covered and stored on ice before filtration? What? Water was filtered using sterile mixed cellular ester filters? And then stored at... What? No, I can't... What? Wow. Restricted adherence and contamination control is followed at all field and laboratory stages to prevent the occurrence of contamination. Wow, we really got to take a closer look at this, because this is fascinating. It almost sounds like this is crazy. So basically, if I'm reading this correctly, you can take a sample of water and process it. Nah, this is so weird. Have you guys ever heard of anything like this? Like, it really sounds way too good to be true. Like, I can kind of see how you could sort of do this, and it seems pretty like how in the world do you, like, if you're taking a liter of water in any given environment, like, how in the world do you filter it so that you're not only getting DNA in general, you're getting shark DNA, and you're somehow splitting it up from, like, everything else, like fish DNA, like invertebrate DNA, like, how in the world does this work? Like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna reach out to some science pals, and, like, I've never heard of this. This is crazy. Have you guys ever heard of this? Howard, no. It just sounds so wild. I mean, if this is true, this is kind of amazing. Like, it's really amazing if this is it's kind of emotional almost. It's like to think that our technology is like that good. But is our technology that good? Like, is this? I've never heard of this field. It's like, this is kind of amazing. And I mean, it's not impossible if you think about like, but like at the same time, it's just like, it's just such a weird. How in the world do you do this? Hold on. Water samples were individually covered and stored in ice before filtration. Water subsequently filtered using sterile mixed cellulose ester filters. Then stored at below 20 degrees Celsius in microcentrifuge tubes containing silica beads, drying out the filters and preventing DNA degradation. DNA was extracted from the filters using the DNeasy Power Soil DNA Isolation Kit from Quiogen. I've seen that name before, by the way. Following the manufacturer's protocol, purified extracts were assessed for DNA concentration in a qubit fluorometer. Thermo Fisher Scientific. This is so crazy. I mean, it just seems so. It's looking real, but like strict adherence to contamination control. This is just so weird. This is really bending my head. Like it's kind of crazy. Strict adherence to contamination controls followed by all fill stages, preventing the occurrence of contamination, including use of disposable gloves, and sterile use single collection bottles and filtration equipment. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about this? So, what do you think of this concept of you can take a sample of water and you can actually filter it to get DNA of any marine species? Because for me personally, I'm like, if you could do that, that's like a miraculously incredible thing. I'm just so blown away that you could even do that, though, because it's like you got to think about like how small DNA is and like how confusing that is, and like there's so much that you can get from like a water column, like as far as like if you can get traces of shark, I mean you can get anything. You right? You can get like can't you get like like plankton and stuff, like you can get anything, right? It's just like, how in the world do you detect this? And it's like, if you can get a sample, you can cross-reference it with like this is part of why we have like genetic banks and like genome sequencing. Like you can cross-reference it with a stretch of like the library of shark DNA knowledge that we have, but like it's so, I've never heard of anything like this. And the last specific COI primer set was used for the application of eDNA metabarcoding markers. The previously published primer set consisted of novel reverse primer. Oh. Oh, man. Okay. So, wait a minute. Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, if you get... Okay. It's been forever since I've done anything related to genetics, but if I'm reading this correctly, a primer is like a stretch of DNA that you can kind of tag, and I forget specifically how you tag it, but let's just say like you put like a light on it, or like a glow sticker on it. I don't know. Like I'm trying to. This sounds ridiculous, but like you put some tag, you put a marker on it, and if you like throw a primer that's unique to sharks, like to elasmobranchs, because like they all have the same common ancestor. All sharks and all elasmobranchs will have a part of their genetic code that's the same. That's going to be unique to them, but removed from, well, like it will be encapsulating all sharks, but it will still be clearly just sharks. And if you have a primer that's tagged, you could theoretically, I guess, throw that against the sample of DNA that you have, and then the primer is going to latch onto and identify. This is a really bad analogy, but like it's going to latch onto and identify the shark DNA that's in the water column, and therefore you can kind of tag as opposed to like sorting through all this junk. You can kind of easily tag on this molecular level, like, oh, that's a shark. There's a shark here. This might be real. This is crazy. Like, I have never heard of this. Howard, the concept is amazing. Yes, agreed. This is so crazy. And Howard, really good point. What if a fishing boat happened through the area? That's an excellent point. Excellent point. Because that's going to be contamination. Like, if you got some guy fishing on, like doing a tour and, like, fishing on one reef and then going into this new environment, like, there could be just so much junk from the boat, you know, that's like accidentally dumping DNA samples into the area. So what's kind of cool is that maybe you could do this as like just a really rough guess, like a hint, and then you can cross-reference this with like kind of pulling it back to like Sir Douglas Bain's idea of like cross-referencing with history, like historical notes. Like, what if it's like you got this eDNA sample of like bull shark. So here's the eDNA sharks, like the bull shark, the great hammerhead, the dusky shark, or it could be okay, so this is interesting. See the slash, like dusky shark, white tip reef shark, no, sorry, oceanic white tip shark. I don't know what Malcody is. Like, there's confusion about what this one is, but certainty about a bull shark, certainty about a great hammerhead, silky shark, bronze whaler. I don't know what Sora is. But anyway, the point being is, like, if you get this eDNA and like, we feel like these sharks are in this area, and you cross-references with like historical data on fishing as far as like, did we ever catch this ever, like in history? Like, you can kind of in multiple ways do the detective work and put together this dark diversity picture of like, oh my gosh, yeah, we had bull sharks in this area, or we had great hammerheads in this area, and they're not here anymore. So as maybe a first step, it's kind of an amazing concept. And I agree. I think, Howard, you made a comment like the sea is an uncontrolled environment, it would be hard to make absolute claims. I think, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Like, it's like, this might be an amazing tool for like a first guess in terms of like what could be in the area, but we gotta monitor for like, you know, just, you know, are there any bull shark records? Are there any, like, you know, has anybody like locally seen one? Have we, you know, has there been any landing whatsoever in this area? Like, it's amazing. Like, and kind of the more we're taking a look at like the methods and stuff, the more it's like, this is unbelievable. I've never heard of anything like this. That's so crazy. Like, wow. Yeah. You know what? Now that, I mean, okay. Hold on, eDNA. Oh, it's bring up Edna's. Okay. I was curious if Wikipedia had anything about eDNA. So, environmental DNA. This is a thing. Environmental DNA, or eDNA, is DNA that is collected from a variety of environmental samples such as soil, seawater, snow, or air, rather than directly sampled from an individual organism. In recent years, eDNA has been used as a tool to detect endangered wildlife that were otherwise unseen. In 2020, human health researchers began repurposing eDNA techniques to track the COVID-19 pandemic. This is incredible. So this is kind of like a new thing, I guess. This is amazing. Wow. I'm going to say it. This actually, science-wise, I think this is the best stream, because this is unbelievable technology. I had no idea this was a thing. Just think about, like, I mean, if you could apply this study, apply this kind of method to like so many different environments, like, it would be really cool. Man, dark diversity. This is such a cool concept. It would be really cool to kind of like apply this to like different areas, because it makes sense. Like, if you are fishing certain areas, you're only going to get things that are attracted to that specific like bait and hook, and also like the noise of the fishing boat scares individuals away. If you're visually surveying, your very presence scares sharks away, even the baited underwater video survey, like you have limited soak time in the water. This is so cool. Man, this is such a cool study. All right, well, I'm on board, honestly. I was really skeptical kind of going into this, but then what was the thing? Sorry, we were going into the primers. I like between where was that? It was like the methods. Sorry. Materials and methods. Yeah, going into this, like, this is like, oh my god, this is actually kind of legit. That's pretty amazing. I had no idea this existed. So let's kind of look at the conclusion. I just realized it's almost 11. So let's look at the results. I know they listed it at the top. Okay, of the 26 historically present species in the regional pool, only 9 species of sharks were detected. The dark diversity of sharks was thus initially estimated to be 65% of the regional pool. That is, 17 species were not detected using traditional survey methods. Despite two orders of magnitude less sampling effort, eDNA detected 44% more species. With only 22 samples, 13 shark species were detected, reducing the previously estimated dark diversity to 50% of the regional pool. Okay. Yeah, this is fascinating. So yeah, so basically, kind of as a summary, since we are getting close to 11, everything that's in, like, between the tiger shark, the hammerhead, like everything between, everything between the sandbar shark and the tiger shark is things that have been seen either directly by human eyes or by like a camera, and then everything in this red bar right here, like the bull shark, great hammerhead, has not been seen, but has left potentially traces of eDNA in the water. And so it's there, it's just like, it's hard to find. This is really cool. Man. Wow. That's, yeah. I agree. Howard, you had the best comment that the concept is amazing. So it's really, really cool. I'm really blown away by this study. So once again, this is Environmental DNA Illuminates the Dark Diversity of Sharks. So this was from Science Advances. It's pretty cool, and again, I got this from sharkreferences.com. So I think, what year was this again? Because they were talking about how, okay, sorry. This is from 2018. So they're talking about how eDNA studies have really started to kind of rise with COVID as far as like trying to detect animals associated with COVID. But 2018, this study came out in 2018. This is really amazing. So, all right. Whew. Well, I think with that, I definitely want to end on just an image of the zebra shark. But man, guys, that was some like wild science. Like, yeah, I think this was honestly probably, this might be one of the most exciting episodes we've had, as far as just like, I had no idea that this was a technology that exists, you know. So yeah. Like, we apparently may have the ability to take samples of water columns and find DNA and isolate shark DNA from that. Like, that just boggles my mind that that's a technology that we have. So unbelievable. So I think for future streams, I'll keep an eye out for eDNA studies, and because I would love to see more. And you know, just it seems like this is kind of like an emerging field, and the concept of dark diversity is an emerging field too. So I love to learn more about it. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. This was an awesome stream, and I went into this thinking this was going to be kind of like a chill night with our lovely friend the zebra shark, but this was so much more active, so much more fun, and like, you guys have been awesome. I really appreciate all the comments and the support, and like the dialogue, even just like between you and me, and then kind of like within the chat itself. Like, we have like a really good group. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great week. If anyone's watching from the United States, happy Thanksgiving, and to our Canadian friends, an honorary American Thanksgiving. Please have Thanksgiving twice, you know, just because it's like, I mean, you know, it's winter, and it's just the time of good food and good drink and such. So, but hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back for Michael's epaulette shark, which is gonna be fun. I think that might be a new species. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care.